Hi guys, Rachel here. How is everyone? So I thought I would share with you my top decks of 2024. Basically what I did was I went into my notebooks, as I like to do, and I actually tallied up the amount of time that I used each of the decks that I used this year. So I came up with about 12. And the first couple I'm going to show you were tied for, usage. And that's how I'm rating them. There's definitely a lot of decks that I wanted to use this year that I didn't really play with very much because I thought they maybe required more study or just weren't right at the moment. But yeah, I just thought I would show you my most used decks of 2024, and then I'll show a couple of decks that I'm planning on maybe working with soon, and some of the things that I'm currently working with that probably would have made the cut if the year was longer. So, yeah, I had just watched Nicole's video over at A Cottage Witch, and she did something similar. And then I was watching Tammy Pie's VR, I forget what the tag was, like tarot tag 24 or something, like end of year tarot tag. And I was thinking of doing it, and then I'm like, you know what, some of these prompts I can't think about right now. I don't have any responses to, so I'm not going to just answer half the questions. I'm just going to show some decks. All right, so let's try and get into it. And I might lose my voice because I think I'm coming down with a cold. I don't know if that's gonna stay lit. So that's always fun. Okay. So these two decks were tied. The Swiss Marseille, which is a beautiful deck. I forget the artist's name. Irene Torres. Oh, this is one of the most beautiful Marseilles, and the Grand Atea. So I'll just quickly show them side by side. And yeah, if anyone knows of a good Atea book, let me know. I have found the little white book useful, but I would like something more. So yeah, the colors in this are just so vibrant. I love the contrast. I love the backs on these. And this is some of the best cardstock in my collection. Oh, it's so hard to describe. It's nice and smooth, but it's not slippy, and it feels papery at the same time. You can see that the image itself is sort of glossier. It's really cool. I was really having fun reading with the Atea. It surprised me. I haven't used it in a minute, but I think it would be fun pairing this deck. I love the faces in this. They're so expressive. Oh, this is like an extra card. Just, yeah, just beautiful. All right. We're going to move on. Next, I have the Jodorowsky. Probably will come as no surprise. I think I was showing this on my channel quite frequently for a minute there. Yeah, there's just something so, I don't know, so eye-catching with this deck. I really love the color combination. See how he's like added some orange in there. And there's two different blues, red, yellow. I don't know, it's just, everything about it just pops. It's probably my favorite, what would you call it? Like, people like to say cleaned up Marseille, I guess, you know, meaning not a facsimile. Love it. So yes, that's the Jodorowsky. This next deck, this was like my, you know, not third most used deck, but where would this place? It doesn't matter. I'm not even going to get into that. The Albano. You guys all know this is a favorite. And I recently got the JK Tarot, you know, the Jupiter King. And I'm sure I'm going to be using that a lot in 2025. But I know, I'm sure it's not going to replace my love for the Albano. I love the graininess of it. I love that it's not perfect. Because it makes me feel more like I'm using something from that time. You know, from the 60s when it was published. I love my Albano and I love the backs. It reads really well for me. It just always has. Okay, the Sistine. Another deck that probably won't come as a surprise. And I just talked about this one in my last video. I love the extra astrological cards. So yeah, this is like maybe like a Minchiati. So gorgeous. Yeah, I just showed this, so. Okay, what do we have next? The Yonasa Yaus, another one that shouldn't surprise you. This is one of my all-time favorites, and I chose this. I forget which edition this is. But I have 3 different editions. I missed out because somehow I was unaware of the current one. And when I looked at her website, it was sold out. And I was like, you know what? Honestly, I have like fountain pen ink on my, hopefully it's dry. Anyway, I was like, you know what? It's probably a good thing because I really didn't need to be buying anything else at the moment. I really love this King of Cups. It's just tied to this memory I have. But yeah, I can't explain it why this reads so well for me, so intuitively. But this deck is so me. Like if I had been a teenager or you know, in my early 20s, and someone told me to choose some decks, any deck I wanted, this definitely would have been something that stuck out above so many others. But yeah, it reads so well. And I really like her write-up that you can find on her website. I have it printed out. I haven't read through it in a while, and I really should do that again. It's a Marseille-based deck. So anyway, just, oh, love, love, love this deck. Okay, so what is next? The Mountain Dream Tarot. Another really good reader for me. And this deck is sort of, for me, like, I would say it's a hug deck, but it's really not, because it doesn't really shy away from the truth. It just presents it in a way that I can handle. It's such a powerful deck. For me, anyway. Very happy to have it in my collection. Oh, so sweet. Yeah, just a few more, and we'll move on. Okay, what is next? The Adapt Tarot. I haven't used this one in actually probably a few months now, and I was just thinking about it the other day, because as I said in my previous video, I've only been using a small handful of decks throughout November and December, because I've been reading Gothlit November. Why did my candle go out? Hang on a second. Okay, yeah, sorry. It was bothering me that my candle was out. Anyway, I've only been using a handful of decks for Gothlit November, and obviously this isn't one that really fits. But this is another really, really powerful reader for me. I love that Virginia Woolf's mother is in this deck. That is her, isn't it? It's not Virginia. I'm pretty sure it is. Sometimes they look so much alike. Anyhow, this is my Jim Morrison deck. And actually, I'm sort of seeing, like, look at Lizard. Knight of Wands. Are the Knights Kings in this deck? I don't remember, because if that's so, then that makes a lot of sense. Anyway. Yeah, this is one of my favorite collage decks. Just favorite decks, period. I find it... You know what's strange is, like, it plays with my dreams. Like, it works alongside my dreams. And I was, when I was using this, I was feeling extremely creative in my writing. So it's like I would have dreams, and I would use the deck, and certain symbols I would see would be symbols drawn from the dream I had had, or had reminded me of the dream that I had, that I'd forgotten until I was using the deck. And then I would just sit with these readings for the longest time. And a couple of them even made me cry and gave me chills, but in a really great way. So I really miss using this deck. And yeah, we'll see. And it really just feels, I don't know, there's just something about it that just feels like an old school deck to me. I think it's the borders, and I think it's the white space. It feels like it's like a deck from the 70s or something. I just really like everything about it. The font, the little black border, and the border around the words, and then this. I love everything about it. Really love the design. And I know it's not everybody's favorite collage deck, and I respect that, but it really works for me. So this deck here should come as no surprise. It's the Robert M. Place Vampire Tarot. And, of course, I talk about this all the time. But yeah, I remember in the tag that I almost did and then decided I didn't have the headspace for it. I think one of the prompts was choose a deck with a great theme. This probably would have been my choice. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of decks with the vampire theme, but this is really like a literary vampire theme. It just all flows so nicely together. Especially if you read the book. I love this strength card. Yes, okay. So what do we have next? The Gothic Literature Tarot. Yeah, so this one, and then there's two more decks. So this was like my third most used deck this year. But only since like November. So that shows you how much I used this deck. It's kind of crazy. I've really had fun with this deck, and I love the stock, and I love how it glows. It's been a perfect companion to Gothlit November. And as Nicole said in her video, like, I just can't stop talking about it. I didn't even mean to say what she said, but I caught myself because I'm like, wait, she said that. And like, in the walkthrough I did, I had mentioned I was surprised when I first opened it because for some reason I was under the misconception that all of the minors had, maybe like a write-up on, which novel they were drawn from, and that wasn't the case. But it's fine. Like I adjusted to it. They all work well with one another. So beautiful. Okay. So yeah, that was my third most used deck this year. Okay, my second most used deck was the Spiral Tarot. So I talk about this one all the time too. So maybe I won't say anything about it at all. And save my vocal cords. I'm sure my voice is going to go out at some point. love that. I really love her Celestial Tarot too. And I haven't used that one in a minute. It's funny, like I have 2 copies of that deck as well. I don't even remember why. And I have 2 copies of this. So weird. I only have 1 copy of her Oracle deck though. And I don't need a second one. Okay, so what deck did I use the most in 2024? The Aleister Crowley Thoth deck. Okay. So, and which one, I don't know. I didn't feel like, I'm such a dork in my notebook. I actually will notate, like if I have more than 1 edition of a deck, I will say like which edition it is. Like with my Thoth, I'll say, you know, 1986 AGM, or, you know, US Games 1983, or, you know, what have you. But I decided not to do that because it's all so yeah, this is my 1983. I have 2 copies of this one. Like, so the other one that I have is absolutely identical to this. I really can't find any differences in it at all, because there's definitely nuances in, you know, most of the printings. But the thing with that deck is that some of the cards are pretty damaged. I don't remember what I paid for that one, but that's fine because I don't have to be precious with that one at all, really. Even so, though, I still sort of am. I think like the 9 of Swords in that deck has a giant crease through it. Somebody probably got mad at it. And there were a couple of cards that were like sort of water damaged. Anyway. Love, love, love. And yeah, after watching Honey Lou's video on, I forget what she called the video, but it was like tips on understanding the Thoth or something. Loved it so much. And it really makes me want to reread the Book of Thoth and read some of the other books I have that I haven't read yet. There's a couple I want to get. But yeah, hopefully in 2025. So those were my top, I think there were 12, because the first 2 I showed you were tied, and I just decided to include them because they were right alongside the counter for the, doesn't matter. So I will just briefly show you some of the decks that I'm still using. So alongside the RMP Vampire and the Gothic Literature Tarot, these decks probably would have made the cut if the year had gone on longer. So the Sleepy Hollow Tarot, I'm just so in love with this deck. It's just such a great reader for me every single time. And it's so much fun, and it makes me happy. And I really need that right now. It's great, even when it's showing me something that's maybe like a hard truth, like, hey, this is what we need to do. We need to get real here. I'm like, yep. Thanks, buddy, you know? It's all good. It's just so funny. I love it. And I don't know why. Like, I love this time period too. Like, I'm so happy that there's 3-cornered hats in here. There's certain things that I love seeing in decks that, like, when I see them, they just, you know what I mean? it gets me all excited. Like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, okay, an owl or volcanoes. Like, I love seeing volcanoes in decks. And three-cornered hats. I love three-cornered hats. You don't usually see. I'm being very goofy right now. I know, but see, three-cornered hat. Three-cornered hat. I'm such a dork. I made a joke with a couple of people that I'm going to make a deck and like it's going to be all volcanoes and people standing in front of the volcanoes wearing three-cornered hats, and it's going to be called the Hot Deck. I'm totally just kidding. I'm sure many of you have stopped watching now. Okay, so that's one of the decks that has been a fun companion for Gothlit November. Another one is a deck that I've only had for a short period of time. The Void Tarot. Thanks to Honey Lou, because I hadn't even heard of this deck. And then I saw her video and I was like, what? So this is another deck that is very much my aesthetic. And I don't know if they're really going to show up very well here. Because I will say the image here, you know, the focal point is pretty small. But that's fine with me. I love like all this gothic like filigree here when these arches and everything. But I just don't know how well this is going to show up in my lighting. I'm so sorry that I never get to record during the day, but I don't. I love like this red, like these red clouds in contrast with this black and white here. It's just a fun deck. I didn't get the guidebook because I thought it was kind of expensive. And I didn't think that I'd really need it. So you just get this little, you know, write-up with just keywords. But I've actually referred to it a couple of times. So that is the Void Tarot. I don't know if it's available right now or not. Even though I just got it, it sells out pretty quickly. And I have been pairing that with the Shakespeare Tarot by Chris Leach, right? That's his name? Yeah, Chris Leach over at Welkin Tarot. I love his decks. Love, love, love. And I love how this book is like an homage to Oxford's World's Classic. It's so cute. This book is insane. I've read a few of the write-ups and it made me feel stupid. I was like, I really don't understand anything about Shakespeare at all. I mean, like, look, Two of Crowns. Look at all of the write-up you get for a minor card. What? That's just the minors. It's incredible. I'm just in awe. So I had this deck on my list for a while and I really hesitated on it. And I finally told myself, I'm like, Rachel, you're going to miss out, because he had a couple of other decks that I missed out on. Like his Monty Python Tarot isn't available anymore. And I think there was a Star Trek one. But Candy over at Candy Soul and Soil, she kept showing it in her recent videos and that she was using it as a companion for her Gothlit November adventures. And I was like, why am I sleeping on this deck? Well, I had like 3 other Shakespeare decks. So I thought, like, I don't really need another one, even though this is so beautiful. But when she was talking about how amazing the book was, I was like, you know what? I think so. So yeah, this is another deck that's a recent acquisition for me. And I've been pairing it alongside the Void Tarot. So, for example, I'll draw 3 cards. Usually this is what I do, is I'll draw like 3 cards, and I'll have, you know, a card from the Shakespeare Tarot. We'll try this one. I don't know. I think it goes. And then the other one that I've been using a lot lately in pairing with these 2 decks is Purgatorium Hex by Mr. Freiborg, however you say it. I love this deck. And I don't think that this is available anymore either. It has the most amazing card stock. It shuffles so nice. I want to get his mermaid deck too. Like, I forget, Tarot Cyrene or something like that. I want to get that. I have the Taruki and love that one too. This is an oracle deck, and it is not for everybody. Yeah. It's really, if you're not into this thing, there's definitely going to be some images that are going to be very, you know, upsetting. But, yeah, I don't know. I have found that I've really been loving the readings I've been getting with this combination. I'll draw 3 cards from the Void, 3 cards from Purgatorium Hex, and then sometimes a single card, because this deck is so intense, from the Shakespeare, and read the message together, and it's been wonderful. And the book that comes with the Purgatorium Hex is one of the best little books that I've ever read. He'll have a quote and a description, high polarity and low polarity, and the meanings are so good. I read, you know, both high and low for each card. So for example, identity, it's one of the cards. I am made and remade continually. Different people draw different words from me. Virginia Woolf. Virginia Woolf, a quote from Virginia Woolf. Perfect. The description, 3 maidens in a friendly embrace. Their nudity suggests intimacy, but their masked faces suggest distance. The flowers and branches symbolize harmony. I'm not going to try and find the card we're talking about here. I actually just opened up this page at random. Perfect for me, Virginia Woolf. You know how much I love her. Anyway, high polarity meaning. Friendship, pleasantries, putting on the right face for the occasion, fitting in, blending, having fun, being in a good mood, having a good time, vibing with others, unity, team spirit, best friends, exclusive group, inner circle. Low polarity, truce, keeping your friends close but your enemies closer, infiltrating frenemies, getting along with people you don't like, being fake, having an agenda. Let's see what egoism says. Egoism, if I can find it. Page 114. All right, this is the quote. Of all the degrading vices, egoism is the most vile and despicable one. William Thackeray. Yeah. Deep in the woods, a villager is conducting a ritual offering up a newborn to the demon in exchange for great powers. See, it's a pretty disturbing deck. Here's the meaning. Being willing to sacrifice anything in order to achieve a goal, knowing that success requires sacrifice. Being willing to sacrifice important things like time and self-care. Low polarity. The sacrifice is too big for the reward. A wish or a goal with a very high price that's probably not worth the sacrifice. Giving up something of great value for something frivolous. So anyway, I don't know if that example really did this deck any justice, but I hope he reprints it because it's just amazing. But definitely not for everybody. It's actually, as dark as it is, there's some humor in it too. I personally find some of the cards funny. So let's see. What else did I want to show you? I've been really loving that combination, you know. And yeah, this deck is like a rose petally finish deck with this foiled font on it, this lettering here. Really, really pretty. And perfect for Gothlet November. And then another deck that I've been using here and there is Nova Mundi's, her little Rider-Waite deck that she came out with. She came out with a couple of them, and I forget what this one's called. Jewels and Frost, I believe. So this is the Jewels, and then this is the Frost. So it's like 2 decks in one. And then the other deck is called Paint and Dreams, I think. And I thought that I was going to prefer the other one, but actually this is the one that I've just really been taking a liking to. I think it's just good for me right now. Things have been really hard for me, and I love all the bright colors. And there's something about it that makes me sort of feel like I'm playing a really old school video game. I think it's maybe some of the almost like slight pixelation in some of the colors here, the way that it is printed. And as you can see, she added here this details from the Visconti decks, which is pretty cool. Not in all of the cards. I love this color combination. It's so much fun. So this is on Make Playing Cards. There's a few Make Playing Cards decks that I want to get. Maybe I'll get this year. There's some other decks made by some YouTube people that I want to get. But anyway, that's been fun. And it reads really well for me, like the Albano. It also comes with some spreads, which I should really play with. I haven't tried the spreads yet, and I haven't had this for very long. Okay, and now, very briefly, I'm going to show some of the decks that I hope maybe I'm going to start using soon. So I just picked this up in Salem. Was it yesterday? No, the day before. This is a deck that has been on my list forever. I kind of want to get a vintage copy too. This is fun. It comes with like this clear tree of life so that you can like overlay it on the cards. I don't know. That's pretty cool. So this is a deck that's been on my list for ages, and I don't know why it took me so long to buy it. It's sort of like what I did with the Heindel Tarot. Wanted it forever. And when I finally got it, I was like, this deck is so me. So perfect. And I think the only reason I hesitated was because I knew it was a study deck. And I knew that it wasn't going to go anywhere. I wasn't afraid of it selling out. So same thing with this deck. And I loved it so much. I very quickly, after looking through the cards, went and bought the book. And I think there are 2 books, actually. Oh, it's just beautiful. This is like a Thoth-based deck, which you know is like right up my alley. And there are some cards here that are very reminiscent to me of the Japaridzi Tarot. Like this card. Something about it makes me think of the Japaridzi. So I'm wondering if that artist drew inspiration from this. She might have. I know that she didn't really have any prior knowledge to the tarot before creating her deck. I'm not talking about the artist of this deck. I'm talking about the Japaridzi Tarot. Anyway, sorry to be talking about another deck when I'm showing you this one. This is just so beautiful. Look at this horse. There's something about it that makes me think like early Kandinsky. I just love it. It has such movement. I just love how she painted the horse. or I think she, oh, isn't that beautiful? No, it's Pamela Joyce Eakins. I don't know if it's the artist though. I know this is like a classic deck, but I really don't know much about the creation of this deck. Just so, so, so gorgeous. So if you're hesitating on this deck and you've been attracted to it for a long time, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. I really don't. And it comes with this extra card, which is very like Hilma F. Klink to me, you know? And then just two other decks I want to show you. So the Da Vinci Enigma, this is a deck that I decided to get recently because I thought that it would be a good, I don't know, like maybe a segue into December, but I didn't end up using it because, okay, the backs to me, there's just something about them make me think Christmas. Doesn't it sort of look like, I don't know, like ornaments or something? And I didn't end up using it around the holiday like I thought, but that's only because I was still so in love with the decks that I was using for Gothlit November. Yes, I'm still reading for Gothlit November. But the other thing about this deck is I felt like there was something about it that was sort of dark and gothic and wintry. And I was thinking it would be a good companion to some of my literature. And I haven't started using it yet. But I think I'm going to soon. Yeah, I'm just so addicted to the deck set. Just the little handful that I've shown you. The Void, the Purgatorium Hex, Sleepy Hollow, Shakespeare, Gothic Lit, and Robert M. Place. But yeah, I'd been thinking about this for years, and sometimes I'd look at it, oh, look at that, and I'd think, I don't know, I don't need it, but, yeah, I think it was, BB over at Pure Red Velvet. Yeah, she was showing it in a video not too long ago, and I was like, yes, I really loved what she said about it, and I was like, I think I need to get that deck. Yeah. Another one that's been on my list for years, and then when I finally got it, I was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was always something that was easy to find affordably. And I thought it was out of print for a while, but I got mine for like $30 or something. And the other one that I'm hoping to use soon is Tarot of the Huntress. I'm so excited for this deck. I missed out on Persephone's Garden. Is that the name of it? You know the deck. Everybody knows the deck. And I had been looking at this one when the other one was still available. And I think, honestly, that's why I'm pretty sure they were both available at the same time. Or maybe I wasn't sure, but I'd seen images of this, and I was like, I don't know which one I like more, but I kind of feel like I like this one. My daughter is like a huge Artemis fan, and I just got her like a little brass statue. Actually, it's not that little. It's probably about this big. I got her this statue that she's been wanting for months as one of her Christmas gifts. And I was thinking about getting her this deck, but I don't know. Every time I showed it to her online, she wasn't like, oh my God, I need that. So I'm not sure, but I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking about getting her a copy. Look at these little bears. But yeah, I really do, I really did like Persephone's Garden because it's a lot of like those pre-Raphaelite artists that I like. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I hesitated on that. But I'm happy to have this one. And I think I showed you everything, so I hope you liked this. And that'll about do it. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.